Training for a marathon can be pretty overwhelming, and trying to fit all of your training around an already hectic schedule can be really tricky. But if we strip it all back, there really are 3 key runs that actually matter. If you get these right, you'll put yourself in the very best position to go out there and smash your marathon. We're going to go through each one of these one by one, and by the end of this video, you're going to have everything you need to maximize these 3 most important runs in our schedule and really progress your running to the next level. So what are they? Let's start off with the big one. Literally, it's the long run. The long run is arguably the most important part of any marathon runner's training week. Why? Because it's the one where you build that endurance, the mindset, and really make those adaptations to complete your marathon. Most marathon plans will gradually increase as the plan goes on to top out somewhere around about 18 to 23 miles, but it's not all about the distance. This is also the perfect chance to start practicing your fueling and start training your gut to absorb the carbs that you're going to need so you don't hit the wall towards the end of the marathon. The gut can be trained just like all of our muscles can, and it's so important to try lots of different gels in your training so you've got everything figured out come race day. As a rough guide, we're going to look around about 25 to 30 grams of carbohydrates every 30 to 40 minutes during your long runs and during those races as well. Our favourites here at the channel: Precision Hydration, Morton, High Five and Science in Sport. All things I've bought and tried myself. We don't have any sponsors or anything gifted like that here. It's also a really good opportunity to practice the kit that you're going to be running in on race day, including how you're going to carry your nutrition and any fluids out there on the course as well. Do you need a band, something like a naked band, to carry your nutrition around with you? Or maybe a pack, some sort of hydration vest, nutrition vest that you can wear to carry things around the course? Practice with that in your training. Dress rehearsals are so important. You're going to want to make sure that everything's working together. Iron out those small details like your socks, for example. Everything needs to be tried and tested out beforehand so you can be confident when you're out there on that race day, you're not going to have any issues and any wardrobe malfunctions to deal with. So it's really important to pace our long runs properly. Well, how far should they be? Well, it kind of depends. In all of our training plans, we like to include some long runs which have marathon pace blocks built into them. We do this because it's so important to know what that race pace feels like during your training, especially towards the end of the run, to replicate what it's going to be like towards the end of the marathon. It also really helps break up the run a little bit, which just helps mentally as well as you tick off these little sections as you go through the long run. It just doesn't quite seem as daunting. Some weeks during the training plan, our long runs will simply be all at our easy pace, just banking that time on your feet. Another handy tip is to try and do your long runs at the same time of day as your key goal race starts, so you get to practice that whole morning routine, including your breakfast. And then potentially you could look at plotting a new route out, going somewhere quite interesting, but please make sure you have an idea in your head before you head out. Just heading out the door for a long run and then having to worry about where you're going is really going to mess up with your sort of mindset and your motivation. For me, I like to do a lot of out and backs. It just makes it very simple for these key workouts. But as I say, plotting a new route can make it a little bit more enjoyable. Don't forget to plan also what you're going to be doing after the run as well. Refuel quickly, a little stretch, change your clothes and get warm again. And yeah, as I say, just get some fuel on board, some carbs and protein. If I'm not finishing at home, I'm going to make sure I have a recovery shake in the car or wherever I am finishing my run to get that done and get that recovery process started. Right, let's move on to have a chat all about the easy run. Next up, let's talk about the easy run, the run that most runners do struggle with. So let's keep this super simple. The biggest mistake people make on their easy runs, they run their easy runs too fast, basically, and just overexerting themselves and not getting the proper training effect that they need. So what's the point of easy runs? Well, quite simply, easy runs are important for building that aerobic base. These allow us to build our mileage up safely without putting too much stress on the body. If all of your runs were hard, lung-busting workouts, you'd end up picking up injuries pretty frequently. So how slowly or how fast should our easy runs be? Well, we like to say conversational pace. If you can hold a conversation with the person that you're running next to, or an imaginary person if you're running alone, then you know you're going to be running around the right sort of pace. That's why run clubs are particularly good and going out running with other people, because you can run nice and easy, chatty, and have a catch up about everything that's going on in your running world. And a slight alternative to this is if you've got an accurate heart rate monitor, a chest strap, or one of those new armbands that's going to be giving you reliable heart rate data, then stick in your zone 2 heart rate zone. It's a very rough guide. For a lot of people, anywhere between 130 up to about 150 beats a minute. This does change with age and it does decrease slightly, but as I say, that's a pretty rough guide. All of our training plans do have pace charts because so many people don't have accurate heart rate data. So we like to include these pace charts as well to know exactly how fast your training runs should be. Now you may ask, why is there quite a big range for their easy paces? Well, some days you might be stressed from outside factors. Maybe you're not sleeping well, maybe you're working late. So some of those days your runs are going to be a little bit slower. So you've really got to let your body dictate what easy pace is going to be on that day. If you are quite fatigued and everything, of course this is going to be in the easier part or the slower part of that range. And if you wake up and everything feels great and you've got loads of energy, then it's going to be a little bit towards the faster end of that range. But the most important thing with easy runs is to never push it. Go on feel and how your body's feeling on that day. And as long as you're roughly around that sort of range, you know you're going to be good. Now, it's sometimes really hard to leave that ego behind, especially with the social media world that we live in these days. But come race day, when you've absolutely nailed your easy runs, you're going to be the one out there that's really built a solid aerobic base, and you're going to be smashing out an amazing run on race day. So leave your ego behind, save that faster running for those speed sessions, and that's what's coming up next. Speed work and intervals. This is our third essential run of the week. This really is the key to getting faster, getting our legs turning over and building that speed, raising that VO2 max. Running at paces faster than marathon pace will not only make that pace feel a lot easier come race day, but it'll also really help build some strength and really help with your running form as well. If we're moving better, our body is going to be able to cover the ground from point A to point B a lot more efficiently, and we need less energy to move at the same pace. Speed work also really helps build our cadence as well, which reduces that ground contact time and also reduces that injury risk. So we're ticking a lot of boxes here with speed work. Now there's lots of different types of speed sessions we can do. We're going to go through 3 nice and simple ones now. The first one being interval sessions. These are essentially short, fast bursts of running. For an example, 800 meter reps, 1 kilometer reps, mile reps, or time-based reps, something like 3 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, are all very classic marathon training workouts. These help to really improve that top-end speed, improve our running economy, and then between these reps, we're going to be having a period of rest between each one. Moving on, let's have a chat about tempo runs. These are going to be longer efforts at what we like to say comfortably hard pace, like the classic 20-minute tempo run around about our half marathon pace. And these runs are really good to build that speed, endurance, working hard for a longer amount of time. And then finally, a workout that we find works really well for marathon running, which is a progression run, when we're going to be getting faster as the run goes on, with each mile or kilometer faster than the one before. This is a really great one because it teaches the body to push harder towards the end of a run, which is what it's going to be like during the marathon. As we get to that sort of second half of the marathon, which some people say starts at 20 miles, we really be working so much harder. These are always a really good run to build that mental toughness as well. Really good one to chuck into your routine every now and then. And of course, we've got it in our training plans, appearing a few times during the whole block of training. The key to speed work is balance throughout the training plan. If all of our runs were this fast, we'd burn out and likely get injured pretty quickly. But including a speed session once or twice a week during the week for more advanced runners, you're going to see some major improvements with your speed. Right, let's wrap everything up here, put everything together. How should you structure your week? Firstly, with the long run, for most people that are working a regular 9 to 5 job, either day at the weekend is going to be fine, Saturday, Sunday, whichever day works better for you. A speed session, generally people put these in Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Some weeks there could be 2 speed sessions, so maybe like a Tuesday or a Friday, or Tuesday or Thursday, but they tend to be during the week. Then depending on how many runs you can commit to each week, the rest of your running is going to be at our easy pace, those easy runs in there. So if you're a 5 times a week runner, your week might look something like this. So Monday, easy run, Tuesday speed, Wednesday easy run, Thursday a nice rest day, Friday an easy run, Saturday long run, and then Sunday a rest day. As I say, with the weekend, you can flip those ones around pretty easily. So there we have it. No need to overcomplicate things. As long as you get these 3 key components into your training, you're you're going to set yourself up for an amazing race day. If you want some extra guidance, then check out our training plans. They're available on benparks.com, and feel free to use code YouTube10 for 10% off. The next video coming up is all about how to fuel your races and long runs, so check that video up here. That's it, guys. Best of luck with your races. Let us know how you get on, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.